What is up, guys? It's Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. My name is Nick Parsons. This is the Betting Memo presented by Sports Memo. It's your near daily video update show about everything that's going on over at Sports Memo. I'm going to be giving out some free picks, some client plays, getting you up to date about who is hot, who has some big packages going on. There's been lots of changes going on over at Sports Memo the last couple of months, and there's going to be plenty more changes coming over the next few months leading up to football. We have lots to touch on today. Obviously, the NBA and NHL playoffs are going. We're also going to be talking about some Major League Baseball as well. Before we get going here, though, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Please leave comments, hit the bell icon. All of those things really do help, guys, in the algorithm, and it allows us to continue to put out this content for you guys. One of the main purposes of this show is to get you caught up to date with what's going on over at Sports Memo and what are some of the biggest plays. Guys, let's just get right into our, and we really do have several hot handicappers at Sports Memo right now. We have some really big packages to mention, but today's featured package for Wednesday comes from veteran handicapper Billy Coleman. Now, Billy, he's been around for the last few decades, but he's been a big part of Sports Memo for the last couple of years. He's got a great value package up right now at Sports Memo. It's his Major League Baseball and NHL 2-for-1 special. So you're getting two top-rated picks for the price of one in this package. Billy is doing extremely well in both of those sports right now. He's 10-4 in his last 14 baseball, so that's 71%. And he's 11-3 and 79% with his last 14 NHL playoff picks. So go check out this 2-for-1 special from Billy right now at Sports Memo, guys. And then when you do, use this code MEMO50 on checkout. You get 50% off daily pick packages from any of the cappers you want. So if you just think about that, you use code MEMO50, you get Billy's 2-for-1 special for just $14.50 as a guaranteed package. Billy Coleman, guys, is our featured package here on Wednesday, May 14th. We're going to turn the page for Wednesday's client pick, though. I'm going to steer clear of the ballpark today. I'm going to instead focus on the ice. I'm 4-1 my last 5 NHL playoff picks. And so I'm back on track in the NHL, guys. If you look at my long-term numbers in the NHL, I'm doing extremely well. But the game I'm looking at tonight is Game 5 between the Panthers and the Leafs, guys. It's all come down to this, a best-of-3 series to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just get right into this one. It's my... As a situational handicapper, guys, momentum and motivation are two things I really always take into consideration when I'm making my picks. I think momentum is a very real, almost tangible factor that has to be taken into account at times, for sure. And I think that's perhaps even more true in the playoffs. When a team gets on either a positive or negative momentum in the playoffs, it can often be difficult to slow down. And it's also a factor in which I've found that the bookmakers often have a hard time properly quantifying into a line. But right around -130 or -145, I think the Panthers are properly priced here. They played their most complete game of the playoffs in Game 4 by winning 2-0. Really, I couldn't believe how poorly Panthers netminder Sergei Bobrovsky was looking over those first 2 games of this series, but he's now suddenly looking like his usual dominant self. I think he can continue to build momentum himself in this series moving forward as well. Guys, Florida has interestingly won 25 consecutive playoff games when leading after the second period. And so while the Panthers' star players are starting to figure things out and regroup, the Leafs, they're going in the opposite direction, especially on the offensive end, led by Austin Matthews. He hasn't even got a goal yet in this series. Goaltender Joseph Woll, he's basically the lone bright spot in defeat for Toronto in that last game. He stopped 35 of 37 shots, but he's getting little help up front right now. Now, so far, home ice has appeared to mean a lot in this series, but I say it's more just the way that these teams came into this series. Florida, you can see, has been making adjustments, and those adjustments have led to positive results. I think that momentum is going to continue here. This is basically the upper limit of the juice I'd ever recommend, but I think Florida is worth the price of admission in this spot, guys. So that's Parsons' best bet for Wednesday, rolling with the Panthers. But as I mentioned, guys, we really do have some hot handicappers over at sportsmemo.com right now. Check it out. No one is hotter overall right now than Abby's Sports Picks. He leads the site as the #1 capper in all sports over the last 3, the last 7, and the last 30 days, guys. The Major League Baseball board sees Abby's Sports Picks all over it once again. But Ricky Tran, our featured capper yesterday, sitting at #1 overall for the last 30 days with a 25-12 record. The NBA board, once again, Abby Sports Picks is ranked #1 overall the last 7 and last 30 days. Moving on to the NHL, as I was saying, I'm 4-1 with my last 5 NHL playoff picks, but it's veteran capper Rob Vincelletti leading over the last 30 days right now. And then in soccer, it's Tom Macrina leading the way this month. There are plenty of hot handicappers, but today's featured capper is Dan Kaiser. Dan has been playing with house money in Major League Baseball since day 1 this year. He has a big 4% MLB best bet going tonight, and that really is important to note here, guys, and that's because Dan is 9-1, his last 10 4% releases. So please make sure to go on over to Sports Memo right now. Check out our featured capper, Dan Kaiser. Make sure to check out that 9-1, 4% MLB best bet. And then remember, use the code MEMO50, all one word. You get 50% off all daily pick packages throughout the month of May when you use the code MEMO50. And so our featured capper also has and our featured free play does indeed come from Dan Kaiser. Dan is expecting some offensive fireworks on the ice tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Dan goes on to say that the Golden Knights have gone over in 6 of their last 10 playoff games this season. The Oilers, they've gone over in 7 of their last 10 playoff games. Dan reckons that both teams will leave nothing to chance in this elimination game. He doesn't trust either goalie, despite Skinner posting a shutout in his last game. Dan thinks there could also be an empty net opportunity in this one as well. Overall, he feels that this is a great situational play. Guys, our featured free play comes from our featured capper, and that's on the over between the Knights and the Oilers in Game 5. To recap, guys, I'm taking the Panthers tonight, and Dan is suggesting a play on the over in the Oilers and Golden Knights. But moving right along, I like to end each show with some interesting betting information, useful information that I hope you guys can utilize. It's time for... So it's the ATS Streakers portion of the show. As primarily a situational handicapper, I'm always looking out for lopsided trends, lopsided streaks, whether that's winning or losing. And so we need to touch on yesterday's example. It's going to be today's example as well. In fact, this really is an interesting case. And so we can once again look at this really now lopsided over-under streak. And so I had that play on the Jays yesterday, which came up short. But for the streakers portion of the show, guys, I looked at the same game and I noticed that Toronto came in having played to 8 straight overs. And so now with yesterday's 11-9 loss in regulation, Toronto has now played to 9 straight overs. And so that's a lot of overs. People are going to be quick to back another high-scoring game in Wednesday's finale here. But the interesting part of this streakers as well is that the Rays came into that contest on the other end of the spectrum. They had been playing to a lot of unders, including in 3 straight at home to the Brewers just previous. So that short-term under streak ended last night, but the Jays' now long-term over streak of 9 straight overs continues. But what do you guys think? Leave some comments down below. We got Ryan Pepiot and Chris Bassett starting in the finale. Will this over-under streak continue here for the Jays? I'm really leaning to the under in this one. Pepiot has a 3.89 ERA. Bassett has a 3.40 ERA. And so I definitely think the under is worthy of a second look. As that does take us to the end of Wednesday's show, guys. If you like this content, please like, please share, please subscribe, please leave a comment. All of those things really do help out. I'll check out the comments for sure. If you agree or disagree with either of those picks, thanks for tuning in, gentlemen, on Wednesday, May 14th. I will catch you on Thursday. Until then, good luck and take care.